Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats. And I want to start by saying if you can support, please keep the shows going by going to supportkenneth.com or supporting me on the Patreon link. That's such a big help. That link will be in the show notes. And thank you to all my supporters. You make the shows possible, especially now. Crazy times. All right. So today I want to talk about shooters. There are people who shoot incredible quantities of photographs. And I say, if you are out at that event and you are shooting with a 20 frame per second camera and you're filling up your car and getting 2,000 photographs to bring back, when you're finished, how good are you at editing? Because you're either making that decision now or you're sitting on the shutter and you're getting all you can, like acquisition is the most important thing to you, and then you're going to go find it in the edit. Well, I've often said great photographers are great editors. And if you're not a great editor, you're probably not a great photographer. Because you need to know, why is that frame a little bit better than that one? If they all look kind of similar, can you tell the one that has the little special sauce? And that's what you're looking for, right? That little special sauce. And I think a lot of people, they think that, well, if I get a lot, it'll give me more to choose from, but they're not good at seeing and finding that gem because there's too many to look at. To look at 2,000 images and critically look at them, that takes a long time. And if you do that every time you go out, then what's the chances you're missing things? And what's the chances the ones that you choose not only are the missed photographs, but then if you delete any of the other ones, you'll never find them. So I think that I prefer to be a shooter. I prefer to not sit on the shutter and use high-speed shutters, unless it's something like sports or a plane taking off or something where you really need a lot and it's only going to happen in a very short window. That's different. But if you're talking about something that is not like that, if you see a person on the street and they're walking, I don't know that you need to shoot 20 frames per second. At that point, you're making a movie. But the idea is that you're making photographs at the critical moment of watching for that moment. It's been overused so much, Bresson's decisive moment line, but it's one of the things. It's like photographs are who you are, where you're able to go, what you're able to point your camera at, and when you point and shoot. And exposure is all taken care of for us nowadays. We don't have to worry about the proper exposure. It's all automatic. But we do have to worry about when. And that when is, some people use the sitting on the shutter trick to make it so that they don't have to think about that. But I don't know if they're the best editors that they're going to find the photograph. And I challenge, the best way to become a great shooter is use high-speed shutters when you need something that's very in a short, the blue angels are flying overhead. Yeah, shoot your high-speed shutter. But something that's not that, find out when to shoot. Be critically watching. Be really present to what's happening and wait for that moment. That's why a lot of people like the Leica cameras and the Leica lens viewfinder, because you're able to see things about to come into the frame. Because the frame lines show a little bit inside of what the whole frame is, so you're able to see what's happening as it's almost about to happen. There's an anticipation different than a DSLR or a mirrorless where you're looking through and seeing the final frame through a tunnel, in a sense. One optically, one electronically. So if you're working, make good choices, and you can either choose now or you can choose later, but you have to be good at one of those. And ideally, if you're shooting tightly, if you're shooting a few frames, and then you still are a good editor, you'll get the best frame amongst those few frames. And then you'll end up, I think, making stronger work. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks so much to all who do. And I'll be back next week. We'll talk photography. As always, here's the good light.